first Direct of 2022 kinda rocked. It starts off with some Fire Emblem stuff, so we're gonna skip forward because I simply don't care about that series. Then we hop into Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, which has been given a release date of April 8th. We already knew about it, so it wasn't super hyped or anything, but I will probably pick it up. No Man's Sky gets announced next, which is neat, but nothing too mind-blowing, IMO. The next major announcement was Mario Strikers Battle League. Mario Strikers Shards was one of my favorite games on the Wii, so this is a major announcement for me. I'm already considering this Direct a success, and it's only a few announcements in. It looks like this will play like Strikers Charge, special shots, items, tackles, grittiness, and all. You can also equip your gear, and this will change your character's stats. They replaced the Mega Strikes with Hyper Strikes, which will count as 2 goals if they go in the net. It also supports 8-player multiplayer. Damn, I want this to come out right now, but I gotta wait until June 10th. There are details on Splatoon 3, but I don't care at all, so we move on. A couple of smaller games and classics such as Front Mission First, Front Mission 2, Disney Speedstorm, Star Wars The Force Unleashed, some Assassin's Creed shit, and Chrono Cross get announced. All games are welcome, but I'm not sure how many of these I'll actually get to. But now we get to Kirby! Kirby and the Forgotten Land gets a funny cutscene where Kirby eats a car. This one will become a meme. Mark my words. Kirby will swallow objects such as cars, vending machines, traffic cones, scissor lifts, light bulbs. This game looks like it's going to be so much fun. I'm a huge fan of 3D platformers, and Kirby himself is just so darn cute, so this will probably be a day one purchase for me. The Waddle Dee Town also looks adorable. Abilities can be upgraded too. It looks like the range and power will be increased. Like Mario Strikers, this is one that I already can't wait to play. I gotta wait until March 25th though. Up next is some weird MLB The Show 22 trailer. I'm not into yearly sports games, as they feel the most similar out of franchises that release annually. My guilty pleasure is NHL, so if it's another standard sports game, I simply do not care. Up next is a segment where they show off collections. The Kingdom Hearts ones are cloud versions, so I lost interest immediately. I'd rather play these somewhere else at that point. Both the original Klonoa games are releasing on Switch too. I have never gotten to play these, so this is a good chance to. Both of the Portal games are coming to Switch as well. I know a lot of people, they say that the Switch is a port machine and they complain about it, but that is fine by me. Live a Live is the next biggest announcement, but it doesn't really interest me at all. Now we get into Nintendo Switch Sports, basically a spiritual successor to Wii Sports. It has tennis, bowling, chambara, soccer, badminton, volleyball at launch. They also mentioned that golf will be included later in the fall via an update. I think that this is kind of neat. I've always wanted a successor to Wii Sports that wasn't Wii Sports Club. The only concern that I have with it right now is the pricing. Part of the reason that Wii Sports killed it was because it was, well, a pack-in game. It was free if you got the Wii. The game itself is really fun, of course, but man, it would have been criticized much more if it was a full $60 or hell, even $40. Up next is a Taiko game, which is a franchise that I'm not familiar with. Rhythm games just aren't my thing. The fact that it has the main Legend of Zelda theme is pretty cool. I don't have any interest in Project Triangle Strategy either, so we move on. The Cuphead DLC is really cool. It would have been an amazing bombshell if it was announced here first, but the team has already announced that this was coming earlier somewhere else. The Metroid Dread, in quotes, Dread mode seems really stressful. That is cool for hardcore fans, as well as newcomers because there is also a rookie mode to accompany it, but I think I've had my fill with Metroid Dread. It's nice that they're giving this game post-launch support, though. Adding these additional modes as well as a boss rush mode certainly doesn't hurt the game. They finally did it. They finally added Earthbound to the SNES Online service. Don't get me wrong, I've bitched about this being absent too, but it's simply too late for me. I recently unsubscribed from the service because I literally wasn't using it. It's a cheap service, but the value is just so goddamn bad that I'd rather not pay for it. I'd rather play Earthbound on my SNES Classic at this point anyway. However, they are also adding the NES game, Earthbound Beginnings, as well, which is also a pretty big deal. Even though I'm not subbed to the service, I'm happy that these are here. These are legendary games that many can now experience. I bought Earthbound Beginnings on my Wii U, so if I really want to play that bad, I can just boot up my good old Wii U again. Up next are several smaller announcements, and I'm gonna sweep right by because none of them really appeal to me. Honestly, if I were to get one of these, it would probably be that damn Lego Brawl game. That actually looks kind of fun. But now we get to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. This is huge. So many people were saying that this will never ever happen. The game has sold over 43 million units after all, so there's some potential for them to make absolute gangbusters here. There will be 6 waves, each of them having 2 cups that comprise of 4 tracks each. That means that there will be 48 courses released between now and the end of 2023. They signal out some of the great ones as well, such as Coconut Mall from Mario Kart Wii and Choco Mountain from Mario Kart 64. They also mentioned that Tour Tokyo Blur from Mario Kart Tour will be included. It will cost $25, which honestly seems kinda cheap. Was anyone else expecting them to charge way more for this? They are also chucking the DLC onto the expansion pack deal. Honestly, I'd rather just buy it and own it, at least until my Switch dies and Nintendo stops supporting it, but I'll get to that later. The rest of the expansion pack just isn't worth it to me. So now the presentation ends with a wet fart, at least in my opinion. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. If you like it, cool, but this just isn't for me. My interest level is literally 0 for this. It does kind of stink when their one last thing isn't your thing. So now it's time to go over my feeling of the Direct overall. My personal bar for liking a Direct is very simple. Is there at least one new announcement that I liked? In this case, that answer is yes. If I'm picking a favorite announcement, it is easily Mario Strikers Battle League. I played Mario Striker Shards for dozens of hours back on the Wii. The gameplay was just so fast and gritty. The characters have their own personalities. The items are ridiculous. It was just pure chaos, and I hope that this one plays very similarly. It looks like it will, but I'm bothered that Critter isn't the goalie. It's a nitpick, but let me just have my stupid nitpick, okay? Another new announcement that I'm super hyped for is the Mario Kart tracks. I mean, come on now. 48 tracks. The price seems pretty reasonable too. It also had a mystery factor of what tracks are going to be included. They showed a snippet from all Mario Kart games, so theoretically, any track from Mario Kart history is up for grabs. It almost has a feeling like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. There are already 48 tracks in the game right now. After all these tracks get released, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will have 96 courses. That is one meaty game. Maybe we don't need Mario Kart 9 after all. Kirby in the Forgotten Land also looks incredible. I love how they did a Mario Odyssey-like spin on it. Kirby swallowing everyday objects looks like Mario throwing Cappy at them. It looks like Kirby can still swallow regular enemies too, and it looks like these abilities could be upgraded. Yeah, this is probably a day one purchase for me as well. I'm in love with 3D platformers like Banjo, Mario, and Psychonauts, so it looks like this will be right up my alley. It's not every day when a former 2D franchise gets to branch out into 3D. This is genuinely exciting for me. I will also grab that Cuphead DLC, though that will probably be on Steam, unless if a physical version is involved. So that list above is the end of my must-haves. I'll be buying these games day one, and I can't wait to sink what's left of my free time into them. However, there are plenty of on-the-fence things that popped up during this Direct. I remember playing Star Wars The Force Unleashed back on my PS3, so that might be fun to buy again and mess around with for a few hours depending on the price. Portal is a classic that I may consider getting, especially if it's priced well, or there's a physical version. I've never played Klonoa, so this would be a great time to get into that as well. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp also looks like a fun time. I have never played this franchise before, but I've heard good things, and this looks like a great starting point. I don't think that there's that much to talk about it, but Nintendo Switch Sports looks like fun. It looks like it'll be $40. Nintendo has it up on its website, which may be steep for this. I guess I'll wait for the reviews on this one. I think that both of the Earthbound games that they showed off are coming over is pretty nice, but I really wish I could just purchase the Earthbound games separately and not subscribe to their shitty service. Speaking of which, I personally don't like what they're doing with Nintendo Switch Online. They keep throwing DLC in there to add value to it. For some people, this works great. They don't want to buy the DLC, but they will subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online, so they think it will be worth that bit of money to upgrade to the expansion pack. For me, though, I just want the games to run well. I was just playing Black Ops Zombies with my friends for a few hours last night. There were some lag spikes, sure, but why is it such a damn hassle to play a single game of Smash Online? I think that game is genuinely unplayable online, and we still can't do basic things like gift each other games, send each other messages, create out-of-game lobbies, and we still have to use our phones for voice chat in certain games. It's just getting really old at this point, and that's why I unsubscribed from the service. Enough of the negative stuff. I like this Direct. I probably would give it an 8 out of 10 maybe, or a strong 7 out of 10. In my opinion, there is nothing at the highest tier of my taste, which is basically only occupied by Pikmin and 3D Mario, but a new Mario Strikers. Kirby in the Forgotten Land is looking even better than it did before. 48 tracks being added to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, several interesting looking ports and remakes like Advance Wars, Portal, and Klonoa. I was very pleased with this Direct.